Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another one. So today is kind of a fun day, right, Camden?
Yeah.
So we're going to be swapping. Well, it's not going to be just one day. It's going to be a series. But we got that 1 ton out of an F350. We'll be swapping into the Suburban because I was shattered the rear end. The ring and pinion is completely gone. So I figured, why not? Let's get started. Let me show you what I got going on. Yeah. All right, so like I said, there's our F350 rear end. I do have, when I got it, these slide pins were broke, so I got new ones for that. I know these springs are gonna be a little bit too aggressive for this 1500, so I'm either thinking of taking out that leaf, obviously take off the overload springs, we don't need it. That'll come in time. What I'm going to do is get the axle up underneath the Suburban so I can at least get her rolling again. So what I'll do is I'm going to jack up the rear end, take out the tires, and let it sit down on the tow hitch, which obviously connects right to the frame. So that should hold the back end of it, and then start tearing out the old axle and everything. And then as far as for the shackles and everything, I bought this kit. I forgot who it was from. Let's see. Oh, got it from Rough Stuff Specialties. So I know it's a pretty inexpensive kit. So what we'll end up doing, this is going to be for the front. The spring will go right in the center of it. And then we got this for the rear. I'm going to have to build my own shackles. But it comes with these plates and tubing, so when I do get it up underneath, I can adjust this from side to side or wherever I mount it. So I'm going to fab up all that stuff. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to jack up the back end and get the whole Suburban sitting on those jack stands, and then that way I can start unbolting this rear axle and slide it out. And then this one I'm gonna have to slide in sideways, obviously put the jack underneath it, take the wheels and tires off so it sits a little lower so I can slide it underneath. All right, so tires off. Each of those jack stands are rated for 6 tons, so I'm confident it'll hold the ass end of this 1500 Suburban up. All right, so now what I'll need to do is take off, I still have the jack underneath there, so I need to take off these shocks, and then the sway bar link, and then this axle should droop down nice and easy. And then before I droop it down all the way, that brake line, I do need to disconnect that, so that way I don't break that line going up. So what I'm going to do is disconnect that real quick, take off these bolts, the sway bar, and then disconnect that brake line, and then get back to you. All right, so I'm gonna have to cut that top bolt off. Got the bottom ones disconnected, and I ended up cutting that brake line because I got the new brake line on the other one. Still kept that T, got it pinched off with vice grips. This spring was able to drop right out. So now what I'm gonna have to do is loosen up those 4 bolts so I can take off that U-joint, and then from there I'm going to take off the upper and lower, You can do that on both sides, and then take this pan bar, track bar, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to disconnect it from right up top here, and I'm going to slide the whole assembly out towards the driver's side, and then hopefully I can slide in this new rear end. All right, so now we're on the passenger side. We're going to take off the upper and lower arms. Need to do is take off, if you can see it. It's gonna be, I'm just gonna show you what I'm gonna take off. That track bar, pan hard bar, whatever you guys want to call it. I gotta take this bolt off and then slide that bolt out. Then I gotta take off 4 bolts for the drive line. So I'm gonna do that real quick and get back to you before I pull this axle out.
Okay, go.
Off, you get your drive line disconnected, brake line disconnected, your upper and lower, your shocks. Then you're free to move this little 44 out, and it's not as heavy as a 1 ton. So Brian, just watch that jack stand, help me pull it out. One thing I forgot to mention is your e-brake. Make sure you disconnect these because you have your e-brake off of your 1 ton. So, and that's it for today.